Um, just to cover this, because I want to talk about it, because, like, actually, what in the fuck, Elon Musk? This man wakes up this morning, or I guess he doesn't sleep because he lives in the office or whatever the fuck he does. This man wakes up and he just decides, as of April 15th, only verified accounts will get For You recommendations. So you literally have to pay $7 a month to Mr. Elon fucking Musk in order to use the platform, basically. And the reason I say that, I mean, and of course Elon stans will just be like, "The casual gamer, there's a following tab already. If you just click the following tab, it'll show you tweets from people you're following anyway, so why are you complaining?" Well, let me show you. The reason I'm complaining is the following tab does technically show me stuff from people I'm following, but typically it promotes like big accounts, like news accounts and things like that. And the ordinary man on the streets, on these Twitter streets, you know, 50 to 100 follower friend of mine, mutual, who I have on here, doesn't show up. Ever. This thing is broken as fuck. It doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. So everyone has been relying on the For You algorithm in order to actually interact with the people and accounts that they interact with most often, and to interact with the type of content that they interact with most often. And while the algorithm is broken as fuck and has been completely rubbish since Elon took over and has been getting worse, and you know, you've been getting suggested shit you definitely don't want to see, it's still been the best place to get like your Twitter content. As much as that isn't saying much, right? That this has been the best place. But now, as of April 15th, unless you're gonna pay Elon for premium, like, unless you have a blue tick, you don't get recommended on here, which means all your friends who quite smartly are not gonna fucking pay for this bullshit, are not gonna come up here. You're also not gonna be in their feed. So, and I mean, it's definitely like, if you're doing what I'm doing and running like a Twitch account to promote your tiny little stream, it's definitely not going to get pushed out to people who don't follow you and who you don't follow. So what I try to do, and this is also very interesting, this is Nazi shit. Really? Okay, that's, wow. This just looks like some pretty anime. I don't know. I don't know if this is a joke. It may very well be a joke. My brain is not functioning on the level of humor yet at this stage in the morning. But this is an interesting thing that happened. So, I mean, firstly, let's go through some of the replies to Elon's tweets, and I'll show you the genius solution that I landed on to avoid this. People are not happy, right? Just as a reminder to everyone, Elon is a right-wing media mogul with massive conflicts of interest in various fields that require government oversight and regulation, which I completely agree with, who's openly and not so openly utilizing his giant personal social media platform to serve his own political purposes. And to that, Elon replies, $7. A cogent and well-reasoned response. Give me money. Like, the response to this criticism is money. I need to get that sound. Money! Money!
Money!
What is he saying? Money!
Money! Okay.
And so the funny thing here is that he follows up, right? He follows up and he says, firstly, I mean, let's unpack the grammatical structure of the sentence here for a second as we look through this. That is the only realistic, maybe it's Elon Musk who's actually running this account, and it would make a lot more sense. That is the only realistic way to address advanced AI bot swarms taking over. Firstly, what the fuck does that mean? It is otherwise a hopeless losing battle. So what he's trying to say is the reason he's making this shit paid, right, the only reason, other than, I mean, money, is that to him, this is supposedly gonna solve the issue of like impersonating bots and stuff on the platform. So he's like, oh, if we have paid users and only paid users content is promoted on For You, then you're not going to be flooded with bots who are manipulating the algorithm in such a way that you have to see their content. The only problem with that, Elon, the only problem, let's just work through this together logically. The only issue is that, and I don't know, like just thinking about this for 2 seconds, is someone who has no background running a social media tech company, no background in programming, anything like that, just a human being who's capable of using like a basic logic, right? Anyone with a Twitter account can buy Twitter Blue. Anyone. There's no verification method, there's no ID linked to having Twitter Blue, there's no ID verification or photo verification on Twitter. So if any person with $7 a month in their pocket makes a bot account and pays the $7, they're gonna get promoted on For You. You fucking moron. You idiot. You absolute fucking moron. Like, the problem though, right, is that Elon knows this. He is very stupid, but he's not that stupid. Like, he gets this. The problem is that the people who support him on this platform are that stupid. They genuinely believe he solved the bot problem. They're like, thank you, Mr. Musk. Thank you so much. Please, Mr. Musk, here's my asshole. I will gape it for you. Do whatever you would like to me. Please. Elon, please give me money. Please. Hire me. Give me a job. Please. I love you. It's so fucking dumb, dude. Sorry, and I know this is a gaming channel primarily, but this really pissed me off this morning. This man really came in and he purchased for an eye-watering amount of money as a joke, by the way. Let's not forget that this man put in a purchase offer because he doesn't understand how things work. He put in a real valid purchase offer apparently as a joke, and then he was held to the purchase because that's how the law of sale works. Dipshit. So this man bought this platform as a joke, then was forced to keep it. The platform had already solved all of these issues. It had solved impersonation by awarding verification ticks to people who were prominent people and on the platform and who were recognizable and who applied for it. It was fucking free. It was generating huge amounts of ad revenue. Everything was solved. There were no issues on the platform. Then he bought the platform and he fired everybody. And then he completely destroyed it. The algorithm doesn't work. He's forcing previously free features, which already existed, onto people for money. Which, by the way, is not how you get people to buy a premium version of your software. How you get... If you have a freemium model where your software is free, but it pushes ads, and you want people to pay for it, you add value. You create new things. You don't... What this man has done is destroyed every feature on the platform and then held it back to ransom for people for money. And when you pay for it, most of that shit doesn't work properly anyway. It's just brain... Like, how is this man so rich? How is he so rich? He doesn't know how to run a fucking business. Yes, he doesn't have the first clue about how to run a business. He's insane. He's just fucking... He's got too much money. That's why we need to eat the rich, is because people like this can come in and just for fun and attention, they can destroy a platform which has become, at least in the Western world, incredibly critical to a lot of people. It's the first, the music, this is perfect music for the moment. Just get me amped up. I'm mad. I'm big mad. I just can't. I just can't. And I will not be paying for this shit, which means that I'm gonna probably have to find several other platforms on which to promote this Twitch channel, because Obviously, I'm not going to get pushed to For You. Millions of people with small businesses, entrepreneurs, use this platform to run their businesses, to advertise and promote their businesses. Some people who actually can't afford $7 a month. Artists, Twitch artists, you know, all sorts of people who don't have the money to pay for this every month. And also companies are, in fact, people using business Twitter have to pay $1,000 a month for features which already existed before. Like, explain to me how that's not just going to chase people off the platform, or at least not to use it in those ways. Because why would you as a business spend $1,000 a month to advertise on Twitter when you can advertise on a bunch of other platforms which have actual advertising, proper advertising services, which are integrated, by the way, into other apps, which Twitter very much isn't for the most part. Who the fuck's gonna... Who asked for this? Nobody. It's crazy. And fuck, I actually forgot this. Now, if someone you're following puts up a poll, you can't vote on their poll unless you have Twitter Blue. And then he calls that verification. But where's the verification? The only verification that exists is that someone paid you $7. There's no verification of their identity, their photo, their ID, nothing. That's not verification, Elon. It's just people paying you. Like, it's like being bribed as a government official to do your job. It's like if we in South Africa bribed the ANC to actually do the things that they say that they do. Like, that's what this is. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna get off this insane rant because it's making me very angry. Yeah, but that's how today started. Oh no, wait, okay, sorry. And then the thing I intended to show. What I saw a lot in the comments to this tweet was people suggesting, like, hey, fuck Elon. It really doesn't matter. Here's a handy dandy way to get around this dumb shit and just have actual working functionality on the platform. And that's what I tried to do. I did this. I created a Twitter list and I called it For Me. Haha, funny. Not for you, for me. Created For Me, right? And I started adding just everyone I follow. I was like, honestly, like, this will work so much better. Fuck an algorithm. My following tab doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, right? At all. People I follow aren't going to be recommended on For You, so that's fucking useless now. So let's just make a list. I was like, fuck it, why don't I just make a list of, oh my god, Jesus. Sorry, I just need to take a moment to appreciate this. So yeah, I was like, well, okay, cool. I'll just make a list of every single person I follow, and then it'll push their content to this list. Problem solved. Problem solved. It works how it used to work before. Great. So I started doing, I called it For Me, hilarious. I was actually going to make the picture of the list like some unflattering picture of Elon because I was so mad. And I do this. I'm like, okay, I get like 90 people in or whatever. And let's actually test this. Let's test this right now so I can show you what I'm talking about. Maybe it was just temporarily broken, but I highly doubt it. So I get like 90 people in, 92 people in, and I can't add. So I keep trying to add people to the list and they're not adding. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's a cap on how many accounts you can add to a list, which makes sense, right? So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just split them up. I'll have a list for like real people that I interact with and a list for like, I don't know, big news accounts and brands and stuff that I follow. So I remove like a whole bunch of accounts to make some space, and then I'm like, okay, let's go and add more people. Now, okay, I made space, so obviously this I've hit the limits of how many people I can add to the list. So I go to add people again, and suddenly you aren't allowed to add this member to this list. That's a new one, by the way, because before, when I was adding people to the list, the button stopped working. You click the button and it wouldn't add them. So I was like, okay, that's a weird glitch. Then after a while, I hit add, and then it said something went wrong, was the error message that came up. Now, I'm trying to add people to lists. You aren't allowed to add this member to this list. You aren't allowed to add this member to this list. You aren't allowed to add this member to this list. You aren't allowed to add this. Like, who am I fucking allowed to add to my list, Elon? Who? Who? And I'm actually 100% convinced that some fucking, like, hasn't slept in 72 hours, abused Twitter employee who's forced to sleep in his office saw this, and that's so sad, right? If that's what happened. They saw this and they were like, oh, this person, or maybe after all the comments on his tweet saying that this is the way to get around it, they've just broken lists on purpose in anticipation of the Twitter Blue change. But I'm convinced, and I try to make a new list. I made a brand new list and started adding people. It doesn't work. Lists are broken. I don't know if that's for everybody. I don't know if that's a change he's rolled out now, because he's like, oh fuck yeah. Obviously, if everyone just makes a list of the people they follow, they don't have to get Twitter Blue, because it'll work better than what we have. I tried it with another list. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So they've clearly broken lists, because that's the solution to this problem. And that's so sad, man. And it's so disingenuous, because they're like, oh, whoopsie, it's not working. Like, yeah, it's conveniently on the day the man announces that For You is not going to work anymore, and everyone's like, oh, well, lists, you can just make lists and that solves the problem. It's not working. It's such garbage, dude. How this platform and how this man and people like him are not more regulated by legislation, I will never understand. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like, these people have too much fucking power, man. They have too much. Why? Because they've got a bunch of money. Like, fuck. There are other people with lots of money. There are companies with lots of money who are regulated. There are governments with lots of money who are regulated to some bullshit extent in terms of international law. Why are people like him, individuals who gain that much money, why are they just unregulated? They can just fuck with millions of people's livelihoods because they got money. It's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. Neoliberal capitalism is fucking bullshit, and it's destroying this planet. It's destroying the planet ecologically, politically, socially. It's a fucking cancer. It's a cancer. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's just woosah. Let's get the fuck off Twitter for the day. Because, yeah, no. This ain't it, Chief. This ain't it.